Welcome back to World of Immersion. Today we have a very important video, and that is ranking the worst mistakes you can make when visiting Epic Universe this year. That's right, Epic Universe is now finally opening in just a few months. The opening date is set for May, and we're going to be going very soon after the opening date. But as we've been following the construction, we've also been gathering a list of the worst mistakes you can make if you're visiting the park this year. Now, this is going to be a brand new park, so there are a ton of things that are going to be changing with it. So take every single mistake here with a grain of salt. A lot of these could change as soon as the park opens. We'll obviously have an updated video once the park does open, but I'm sure a ton of you are planning your trip right now to Epic Universe. So this video is to make sure that you have the best possible day at Epic Universe and you don't make any of the mistakes that could potentially impact your one day at the park. But with that being said, let's start counting down the worst mistakes you could make. Starting off, the first mistake, this is going to be an interesting one, and that is going to be waiting until 2026 or 2027 to go. Now, while you may think that going in the first month or even year of operation is going to be a bad idea, in fact, it's probably going to be the opposite. Most people are going to be thinking that the first year is going to be super crowded, so they're going to try to push back their trip until 2026 or 2027. A ton of people are also going to be wanting to wait for the kinks to be worked out during the first year of operation because it's going to be a brand new park, so it's going to be significantly less crowded during the first year of operation, in my opinion. I would highly suggest trying to go to the park within the first year if you can. I think it's going to be a lot less crowded than it will be in the following years. I think once the park eventually gains all of its hype from being open and all the people that are experiencing all the attractions and everything, I think that's when it starts to get really, really crowded. Additionally, while it's not yet confirmed, it is very likely that the park will have a significantly reduced capacity during its first operating months to get the park employees and the rides adjusted to the huge crowds. On top of that, there will not be any express offered during the first year, which is going to be great for everybody that would not be buying express. That means those lines are going to move significantly faster than they would. All the rides are going to be operating at full capacity, which means while the lines may be long, they're going to move really, really fast. So like I said, I think the biggest mistake would be waiting a little while to go. I think that's when the crowds are going to be the absolute worst. Now, this second mistake is a lot more of a simple one, and that is going to be not buying your ticket in advance. Now, this one may seem like common sense, but there are definitely people that are going to show up to the park and not have a ticket and expect to get in. This park has very, very limited tickets. In fact, the first few weeks are already sold out as it is. Right now, you can only buy 3-day tickets that include 1 day at Epic Universe. And if you're planning on going within the first few months, I would highly recommend getting those tickets ASAP. We're going about the third week of when the park is open, and it is almost already sold out until when we're going. So we've already purchased our tickets, obviously. I would highly suggest getting those tickets as soon as you can. Like I said, you have to purchase a 3-day ticket. Unless you are a Florida resident or an annual pass holder, then you're able to purchase those single-day tickets, which is really nice. But those 3-day tickets aren't that bad, and it allows you to explore the other two parks, which are also great as well. Now, our next mistake is going to be not arriving at least an hour prior to park open. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but you should absolutely arrive as early as you possibly can. This park is going to be mobbed, and it is going to be so vital that you are there well before the other people in the park. If you are there at rope drop, you can head to one of your favorite rides, one of the rides you're most excited for, before any of the crowds show up. I guarantee you every ride in this park is going to have an insane line. It is a brand new park. Every ride is brand new, and everybody's going to be excited to do everything. So being there early will allow you to get a shorter wait on at least one of the rides. Now, going along with that, not planning transportation to and from the park is going to be a very vital mistake that you can make. Now, many people may not know this, but Epic Universe is not actually on the current Universal Orlando Resort, which means you cannot walk there from any of the current hotels. And if you get dropped off at Universal Orlando, it's going to be pretty far to go to Epic Universe. It's actually a few miles away. So make sure you plan those transportations from your hotel. Make sure it drops you off at Epic Universe, or make sure you take one of the shuttles from the main drop-off to Epic Universe. There will absolutely be shuttle transportation to there. But make sure you plan that well in advance. You get those Ubers reserved and everything, because it's going to be a hassle trying to get to the park, and you want to make sure you know how you're going to do it, not day of. Now, our next mistake is going to be going to the most popular ride first. Now, while you're getting there well before rope drop, you want to make sure you go to one of the popular rides, but not the most popular ride. My guess is that this ride would be the Harry Potter Dark Ride. The Harry Potter Dark Ride, I think, is going to be by far the most popular attraction in the park. And in my opinion, I would suggest waiting till later in the day to ride it. I think every single person is going to be going there first, right off the bat. Obviously, we will not know this until the park opens, so then we'll find out which ride will be the most popular. But that would be my guess, and I would highly suggest checking out something else before that. Now, another mistake is going to be not utilizing single rider. While the park doesn't have express open during its first year, it will absolutely have single rider. 7 out of 11 rides in the park are going to have it, and this can be super helpful for maximizing your time in the park. Like I said, all the lines are going to be super long, so make sure you use the single rider line so you're able to experience every ride in the park. Single rider works amazing at Universal Studios Hollywood and Orlando. You're able to get on all these rides much quicker, almost as quick as you would with Express. Those single rider lines move super fast. They use them to fill every single empty row, so be sure to use those if you can. Obviously, some people want to sit with their friends or their families during these first few rides on them, which I completely understand. But if you're going for some re-rides, I would highly suggest checking out the single rider line. Make sure you just ask where it is. Sometimes they're hard to find. Next, the next mistake you can make is not planning what order you want to ride stuff in advance. You're not going to be able to do everything, so you want to make sure you have a list of what rides you want to prioritize. Like I said, there are 11 rides in the park, and my guess is the park will be open for around 10 hours, which means unless every ride's going to have less than an hour wait, you're not going to be able to do every ride. So I would highly suggest trying to do the rides that you are most excited for. Come up with a list of what rides you really want to prioritize and hit those first. If you don't do this, you might get stuck with just a few hours left in the park and you still have 5 of the major rides that you wanted to ride left to do. So make sure you don't waste your time and you're able to do all of your favorite rides, all the ones that you're most excited for. Make sure you plan out your day well in advance. Now, the next mistake goes right in hand with that. And that being said, not being flexible is also going to be a very huge mistake. It's a very brand new park. There are going to be tons of technical issues and kinks to be worked out. So be prepared for everything. And be prepared to completely change your plans if necessary. It's very possible that rides will not be open during the park day. And unfortunately, that is the reality of a brand new park being open. As much as it sucks, it will be very possible that some rides will not be open, so be sure to plan accordingly and don't get too discouraged if you have to change your plans completely. Now, another mistake is going to be not planning where you want to eat. Lines for food and reservations for restaurants will be insanely crowded and completely booked up. So look on the website to figure out where you want to eat, what food you want to get, well before you even get to the park. Once you get to the park and you don't know where you want to eat, it's going to be so stressful trying to find a place to eat, and all the lines for all the restaurants are super long, all the reservations are booked up. It is going to be an insane hassle trying to do that, so be sure to look on the website. Epic Universe is going to have some incredible restaurants, some really well-themed restaurants. I would definitely suggest checking out some of the really immersive ones, like the ones in Dark Universe. Those look really, really cool, but make sure you plan those out well in advance. And finally, our last mistake that you can make when visiting Epic Universe is trying to cram everything in and not enjoying the park for what it is. It's a brand new park and there are going to be tons of details everywhere. It's going to be super crowded. Every ride is going to have a really long line, so you're most likely not going to be able to do everything. So enjoy all the small details and just explore the park. There is a ton of theming in every single land of this park. There's a whole immersive storyline throughout the entire resort. It seems so cool. Definitely check it out, and don't try to rush. Don't try to hit every single possible thing because it's not going to be possible. But with that being said, that's going to do it for our video today. Be sure to comment down below if you're excited to visit Epic Universe. If you're planning on going within the first year, like I said, we're going to have tons of content coming out because we are going to be going in just a few months. We're super excited for this park. It's by far the most anticipated I've ever been for any park of all time. But be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss when we have those brand new videos. Thank you so much for watching World of Immersion today, and we'll catch you in the next video.